Hey guys! Hey! Welcome to Game Stuff Podcast, the weekly video game hangout show where two guys who make games for a living just get together to talk about games.
Yep.
I'm one of the hosts, Big B Snyder, and I've got my boy over here.
I'm another one of the hosts.
Sean.
Big S.
The
Sean.
other host.
Crick. Yeah, that's me.
What's going on, Sean? How you doing today?
Today, let's see. How am I doing?
We can't say
I
what
added
today
a bunch
is.
of nicknames to my list.
Okay.
Like other hosts. I love that nickname.
Yeah, I like that.
And that was pretty much it. So I'm doing well.
We're recording on a different day today. So
Yeah.
if the energy feels a little different, if when this is playing back, you're feeling a little different, it's because we had to switch things up. This weekend we're going to be hitting Big Bear.
Yeah.
It is a mountain place?
I think it's a mountain with a lake.
Yeah, and so the good thing is that they do have electricity.
Yeah.
So we can
Thank
still play
God.
video
so we can
games.
just play video games inside from a different location.
Seriously. But yeah, so we can't record on our normal day, which we don't ever tell you when that is.
Yeah,
but
so
now
this is
today we're
devastating,
recording
I'm
on a
sure.
different day, which is like normally a day when people stop working for a little while.
Yeah, let's just say,
But we can't just say when.
It
So
conjures
just know.
thoughts of shows such as Friday Night Lights,
TGI Fridays,
Freaky Friday the movie,
restaurant,
but we won't tell you what day
Friday
it
the
is.
13th, the movie.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
the game, just the movie.
Yeah, Thanksgiving Friday, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So anyways, if you're new to the show, every week we get together to talk about what kind of news has gone on in the week.
Yeah, so let's do that.
And yeah, sure, let's just dive right into it, Sean, and
Sure.
tell me a little
We
bit
always
about
dive right in.
what you've been playing.
Oh, I thought we were talking. You just set up talking about news, and now we're talking about what I've been
Tricked
playing.
ya!
Oh my God, I'm so duped. Oh, I gotta think fast now. What have I been playing? Oh shit. Mario plus Rabbids is what I've
Yeah.
been playing. I got into it.
Dude.
Last week
Wait,
I
had you
said
been
I was going to
playing-
go to Best Buy and get it.
And we went to
then I
Best
did.
Buy and we got it.
Not on the day that I said I was going to.
I was going to
Sorry.
say, I think it was a different day. Wasn't
Sorry.
it? It was
But
on Monday.
I'm on about World 2.5 now, I think. 2.5.
Oh, damn, you're
2.4,
flying
2.5.
through, huh?
Well, it's easy.
Okay.
Super easy.
You must not be playing
Just
on hard.
perfecting every single. There is no hard. It's normal and easy. Which is interesting because I think Nintendo was the first to kind of like add the easy mode to all of their games.
Yeah.
And people were kind of hating on them because the
And
games
it's
have
not
already
always
gotten
an
so
easy
easy.
mode. Sometimes it's just mechanics that make it the easy mode,
Yeah.
Like they had, what was there a Mario game or was it a Yoshi?
Well, I think it
Is
started
the last
with
Yoshi
New Super
game
Mario Bros.
where they added in like an auto like play mode where it
Yeah.
just plays the level for you.
They had that in New Super Mario Bros. Because they wanted a whole family to be able to play together.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted kids to have that experience of like their first Nintendo game when they were 5 or
Yeah,
whatever.
well, here is what your first fucking Nintendo game experience is. The level starts.
Super Mario Bros.
do 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 do.
Yeah.
Because you fucking run into that Goomba guy.
Yeah.
He's just right there. The game's not guiding you. The game doesn't even tell you need to jump on that motherfucker.
No.
You're just running along. He's right there. You're dead. That's what Nintendo's like.
Although in real
Nintendo,
life-
stop pretending like you're this nice company who we make easy games.
Really,
you're
though,
full of shit.
I mean, you kind of had some cues because in real life, if that thing was coming at you at a fixed speed, I'm pretty sure you'd jump.
Is that like? Is it? Because that speed it's coming at is so slow.
But you can tell it's
I would
consistent.
walk around it.
If it's one
But
thing,
Mario
it's
can't do that.
consistent.
You
Exactly, he's 2D.
Yeah,
He
you
lives
try
in a
to
2D
hit
world.
that up and down button. It doesn't do anything except for you duck for some reason in original Mario Brothers. I don't even know what that means. Like, what do you duck for?
bullet bills, dude. Are you serious?
my God.
Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, yeah, okay,
Gotcha.
all right. You do know games. Oh,
Yeah.
that was close.
But seriously though, I do find that kind of weird that like classic Nintendo, what we grew up with, way harder than what kids grow up with now.
Yeah.
I mean, games in general are way easier, but
Well,
Nintendo's still going the extra mile. They're like,
potentially.
hey, you don't want to play our game? Oh, fine, we'll just fucking play it for you. Here, take away the controller from you, kid. Punches
so
you in the face.
I'm not sure if games in general are easier. I think, like you said, people have added tutorials, so they're better at teaching players how to play
Well,
now.
tutorials, and you think about how games work. When you play, what's a game that's come out recently?
Dark Souls 3.
No, not Dark Souls. That's a bad example.
Bloodborne.
Well, even Dark Souls, though, when you die in Dark Souls, you don't lose everything you've done. You just lose the things that you had done up until you died.
Yeah.
It doesn't like say, oh, oops, sorry,
You're out
start
of
the whole thing
lives.
over again. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're out of fucking Dark Soul lives. It's just like, okay, cool, you died, start back at this area. All right, well, I guess I'll do that. Back in the day, Mario, when he died, he was dead.
Yeah, I don't think that's necessarily
Forever.
more difficult. I mean, you can spin it that way. It's really just more frustrating. I don't think it's difficult.
But that's
in a
what
good
makes
way.
it more difficult.
I mean, you lose more time, but it's not a harder. I don't know. We could argue this all day, but
we could argue this all day. Let's do it.
One point
Let's
I want
go
to make
right now. I'm ready to go.
No, not on a whatever day this is. I don't have time for that. I think one point that I wanted to make was that back in the day, games were more difficult potentially, but also simpler. Like 2D, that's pretty easy to deal with. Nowadays, like imagine being a kid now where you're jumping in a 3D world and you can do anything.
Could you ever imagine being a kid
jumping
in a 3D world?
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? That's impossible.
I grew up in a 2D world.
Yeah.
But imagine playing the current Zelda, Breath of the Wild, when you were a kid. Instead of playing Link to the Past or something, you're fucking climbing up mountains. You're learning about the properties of electricity.
I will say that Breath of the Wild is probably equally as hard, if not maybe harder than the original Zelda.
Oh my god, those Guardians, dude.
Because the original Zelda it's a lot of that same thing. It's like, it's just trial and error. They don't tell you what to do. You just go somewhere. The old man's like in a cave just fucking creeping you out. Just like, I gotta get out of here.
He gives good advice, though.
He does. And then you never see him again.
Because he died. Those are the times. Well, okay, so what we were really talking about here was Mario plus Rabbids.
Oh,
and
yes,
we've both played
Mario plus Rabbids. Yeah, and I was thinking we should do a review podcast. I'm thinking like an exclusive review podcast where it's just for 20 or 30 minutes, you and I riff on that.
Yeah, let's do it.
If you guys want to hear us like review games, write in, let us know. Write in to gamestuffpodcast@gmail.com. We're thinking about doing it. They would probably be separate from the regular weekly episodes. So just let us know if there's any interest.
Let us know, and even if there's no interest, we're fucking doing it.
Yes,
so
sorry.
Prepare your butts. But here's what I'm thinking. We do an out in the field podcast. We're on the lake. And we just record this on our iPhones or something.
Oh no, I have
on a lake,
dude.
Well, do you want to bring your equipment onto a lake?
Yeah.
We're gonna be like in tubes on a lake.
Dude, how are we getting tubes?
Floating on tubes.
Okay, anyways, we can talk about this
All
off
right,
the air.
logistics. Sorry, we don't want to bore you with the logistics.
Get back to Mario fucking Rabbids.
It's great.
Oh wait, does he do that?
Not so far. I mean, I don't think they've really.
I mean, that Peach Rabbit is pretty hot though.
That low. She's
You know
always
what I'm
taking
saying?
selfies.
She is. She knows how hot she is. She's hot and she knows it. She's one of those girls.
I don't know. I don't know about that. She is a rabbit. So there's that. But I'm really digging it. I love how mobile you are. I think we already talked about this when I had seen you play, but most games limit your mobility, most strategy games. And that's kind of a currency that you have to work around. But in this game, you are so mobile, and a lot of things that you upgrade allow you to be even more mobile, that it just creates new, interesting scenarios. And then you're on the
Switch, which is also mobile. It's fucking crazy. Like you can go anywhere.
Squared, man. And the enemies have that same mobility and use it against you. And there are some enemies that have crazy mobility. Like you shoot them and they charge towards you when it isn't even their turn.
Yeah, it's unfair.
And that's super cool. So you're like cutting them around the level and just setting up a team strategy in that environment feels really different than any other SRPG that I've played.
It feels really good.
Yeah.
Is how it feels. So, I mean, I'll just jump in along with you since I'm also playing Mario plus Rabbids.
Go right ahead, jump on in.
I'll just jump right in with you. We're jumping in. Yeah, I think that the game has some really satisfying strategic moments where I never expected to just be sitting around actually planning out moves ahead of time like I do with my own Rabbids. It gives me a lot of this feeling that I get when I'm playing chess, where there's this really satisfying.
Oh yeah, you play chess all the time, right?
Dude, I used to play chess a lot.
I
was even in chess club.
What?
Yes.
When?
In high school, dude.
Bullshit.
Not bullshit.
Total bullshit. You were in choir.
Yeah, I was in choir.
You're not in choir and chess club.
Okay, let me get back to what I'm trying to say, though. I also played chess with my dad a ton. Love chess. Haven't played in a while. Got back into it in college for a little while.
I don't believe it.
Dude,
we should play. True. I'll play you.
Fine, let's go. Let's go right now. We'll play chess live on air.
Okay.
So it gives me that feeling though, where it's just it's this really satisfying feeling where you're just sitting there planning the moves out in your head, and it's this really relaxing, satisfying feeling. And then the stuff that you can do is really awesome. Like they make improvements to the XCOM formula in ways that I wasn't expecting that are really cool. Where in Mario plus Rabbids, you can run up to an enemy, and if you just click on them, you automatically do a melee attack. So every turn, pretty much, if you're playing properly, like you can position yourself to be in range of enemies, to go up, melee attack them, shoot them, jump off one of your buddies, go into a fucking Mario tube your ass up onto another platform, get out of the way. And it feels really good. It feels really awesome. Yeah. And the characters so far, I have, I think, 6 of the characters unlocked now. They all have a cool, unique identity and cool, unique abilities that make them really valuable. I haven't found a single team formation that I feel like is the absolute best yet. I like switching between them all because they all have cool stuff that they use.
And so I haven't switched because I'm kind of attached to the characters I have. Like I know my moveset so well, and I've invested in upgrading them a certain way, and I feel like I've got my strike team.
I've seen that, and I almost wish that you would try a little bit more because I think you have Rabbid Luigi, Rabbid Peach, and regular Luigi, right?
No.
On top of Mario.
Regular Mario.
Yeah, but no, I'm saying, but as far as unlocked.
Yeah, I have.
That's it.
I have him. Yeah, and I'm about to get another one too. The one that's frozen in ice.
Yeah, Rabbid Mario.
Don't say it.
Well, I can say it.
God, that's a spoiler.
Oh my God, it's not a spoiler.
It's a total spoiler.
Everyone knows the characters in this fucking game.
Who would have thunk that there would be a Rabbid Mario in the Mario plus Rabbids game?
But Rabbid Luigi or regular Luigi, is awesome because he has like a sniper rifle, and he has Mario's ability where like when someone's moving, you can hit them while they're moving, but you can upgrade it so he hits up to 3 times. Yeah. So like
Mario
you can position
upgrades it too,
only to be able to do it twice, and it costs a lot more points to do it.
Yeah.
So like Luigi, you can just position him into the spots where he's just like a fucking badass sniper and just wrecks people.
That's cool.
And he has weapons that have ink ability, so ink stops them from being able to see you to attack.
Oh, okay. So he's
really cool.
My thing with that though is that counterattack ability is really dangerous with the enemies that charge you. If you don't want that character to have aggro, then you're kind of fucked. You either can't use the ability until they're dead, or you just have to position them like extremely carefully.
Yeah, but think about this, and I don't want to talk too much about strategies on the air because I realize this is probably really boring, but with that ability, Luigi's over on one side of the map, your guys are on the other side of the map, you shoot, they start running, the charger will start running towards the other side, Luigi will shoot him, has to turn around and come back. Mm-hmm. So you can like really mess with him that way, and usually I'll set that up to where like I'll make him move so that way Luigi shoots him and kills him or something. Yeah. But anyways, there's other characters that you unlock that also have their own really cool, unique weapons and abilities, and I really like switching it up every once in a while and just seeing what they have. Yeah. I do agree the stock team is very good.
It's great, and some examples of those other abilities are Peach, or I guess. Rabbid Luigi maybe could get that. I thought you had someone else with this ability, but you can put down basically this little like remote control.
Yeah, Luigi has that too.
Yeah, okay, Luigi has it. So they each have like a secondary gun or weapon basically. So Luigi and Rabbid Peach both have that. Then Rabbid Luigi also has a like area of effect rocket launcher attack that I haven't even used yet, but I got it. And then Mario has a melee hammer.
Oh, dude, the hammer is so awesome, like straight out of Donkey Kong.
Yeah, and he hits like 5 people with it at once.
Yeah, and it does a ton of damage.
Honestly, I just unlocked those a couple fights ago and then upgraded them, but I haven't used them yet.
My biggest gripe with the game, and I heard people talk about this, is that you can't remove Mario from the party. Kind of sucks because sometimes I just don't want to use Mario for some of the challenge. Like I've gone really heavy into the challenge maps, so I went back and I cleared the whole first map of challenges. And there's certain times where it's like, man, Mario does not really have the abilities or moveset that's going to make this easier. Yeah. But I'm stuck with him.
Yeah.
And then you have to have at least one Rabbid in your team, which I've been fine with because I actually like the Rabbid characters a lot.
Yeah.
So, but the biggest gripe is being stuck with Mario, and you can get yourself in a really bad spot where Mario gets really fucked up by like some mean ass Rabbids, and then like you're stuck in the middle of a chapter, and Mario's got like no health, and it's frustrating because you can't swap them out. The other characters, if they get hurt, you can switch them out. So that way, if someone's at really low health, just swap them out with someone who has full health.
I hadn't even thought of that actually.
Yeah.
because I never
I know
swap.
you wouldn't think of something like that, but I would.
Yeah, because I'm
a
loyal to the
strategic
characters that I was
guy.
dealt, you know?
I'm a chess player.
I work within my constraints. Oh yeah, chess, where you just get to swap the pieces out. Exactly.
Yeah, when you get to the other end of the board, dog. Yeah, I know chess. What's up?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Pawns get to switch out into other players when they get to the other end of the board.
Yeah, but who gives a shit? Like if you wait, what?
Oh my
What kind of
gosh.
chess are you playing?
Regular chess. If you get a pawn to the other end, you can get back one of the characters you lost.
Okay.
So if you lost your queen or whatever, boom, bitch ass queen and back.
Is that like a strategy that anyone employs?
Yes, it is.
Because by the time you get a pawn all the way to the other end, you've made so many moves that
Yeah.
you should have at least done some damage, right?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like that's the strategy. You leave it open. So like that's just one of the many strategies to chess, Sean. You know, if they leave an opening, you can take it, get back one of your powerful. You can sacrifice a piece
Yeah.
to get them to take it, opening up your pawn to get to the other end, get that piece back, wreck up shop behind their base.
Where does that piece go
What do you
when
mean?
you get it back?
Say
You get a queen. Does it go to like where the queen starts, or
no,
does
it goes to where your pawn was. You're literally
okay.
changing the pawn.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Is that like sanctioned chess play?
Yes. Oh my God, Sean. Yes,
All
that's
right.
how chess
Well,
works.
maybe we'll do an episode on this.
All right.
Anyway,
we'll review chess
Moving
if
on.
you guys want it.
what else have you played? Because
Is
that was
that
kind
it?
of
Is that for-
that
is
was
that it
the
for you?
bulk of my play. I played a little bit more of Just Cause 3, and
yeah.
there's not much to say about the game other than it's just
a lot of stuff
amazingly
blows
fun.
up and you're flying around doing
it's
crazy
just
shit.
a good like stress reliever.
So I've pretty much only been playing one other game. I haven't got a chance. This has been a busy week. I haven't got a chance to play Everybody's Golf very much. I've played a little bit more. I want to play it so much more. It's really fun. I played a little bit with Maggie the other night, and that was really cool. I wish we could all get some Everybody's Golf going. That would be fun. But the main game I picked up on a whim, I think on Saturday night or Sunday night. I don't know why. I was just like feeling bored and I wanted a story game to play through. And someone mentioned Yakuza 0 was on sale. So on Reddit or something. So I picked it up. And so I've been playing Yakuza 0 this week. I am very impressed with that game.
Yeah.
I hate subtitles. I hate watching movies with subtitles. I hate fucking anime with subtitles. Japanese voiceover in games a lot of times really annoys me because I play a lot of like anime-like games. And
Like what?
like JRPGs.
Okay.
Mostly like JRPGs, like Tales games or
well, and you
whatever.
played
Trails of Cold
1,000
Steel.
hours of Persona.
Yeah, and I played a ton of hours of Persona. And in anime style shows, Japanese voice acting is like so ridiculous. Like girls will be like, and then like guys will be like, and you know, and it's just like, the acting, the characters are so overacted. It drives me nuts with the way that Japanese voice actors tend to like deliver those lines.
Yeah.
And that's why I tend to prefer English dubs, because even though you can get English dubs that are bad and those characters pretty much just copy exactly what the Japanese people did, for the most part, it's toned down. And one of the best examples for that, I think we mentioned before in the show, is like the Zelda trailer in Japanese versus English.
Yeah.
Night and day, tonally different.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I'm the polar opposite of that, where generally, unless it's like a Ghibli movie where I know the dubs are famous actors, famous voice actors, I prefer the Japanese voice with subtitles because it's just more authentic and it fits better. Where English, they change the words and something's lost in translation and whatever.
Dubs
and
have been getting better and better these days, though.
They have, and at the same time they haven't, because there's still like different tiers of budget for shows. So some of them are still real bad.
Well, the long story short, the Yakuza 0 is only in Japanese. Apparently, only the first Yakuza game was ever translated or overdubbed for American audiences. And in that game, I guess it was Yakuza 1, they actually hired Mark Hamill to be in it, and they made a huge deal about this back in the day.
Really?
Yeah, I was reading about this. So they hired Mark Hamill to play the lead role, I think, or something.
The Joker.
Yeah, well, Luke Skywalker, duh.
He was in it.
And so I'm actually really liking it, even though it's dubbed. It's not dubbed, so it's subtitled, so I have to do a lot of reading. It's kind of frustrating just because I want to be able to look at the action. I want to be able to look at what people are saying.
Yeah.
And that's typically why in games, and especially, I don't like subtitles, because in RPGs, a lot of times you're fighting a battle and you're like fighting, so you're mashing buttons and you're like, you need to look at the action, and then characters are talking to you. So you have to like look down at the bottom of the screen to try and read something while you're trying to kick some monster's ass. It's frustrating. It's like, that doesn't feel good to me. So with Yakuza, it's not too bad because most of the dialogue is during cutscenes, and the cutscenes are really high production value. And so it's kind of like watching this really cool Japanese crime movie, and then in between you get to kick a lot of ass. So I did the first boss fight already. Oh my god, it was so awesome. The music was so kick-ass, and like the characters are really cool. And this Yakuza 0 is a prequel to all the Yakuza games, because there's 5 Yakuza games so far. And I jumped in on this one because everyone says it's actually a really good spot to start, because there's not 5 games worth of backstory and drama and all this crazy shit to deal with.
I wonder if they planned for that. If they were kind of like, they want new players, and so this one will be a prequel, so they can.
It's a great idea. It's really great because like it's got me in. And I've only played it for like maybe 4 or 5 hours, and the game has 2 protagonists. I haven't even seen the other guy yet, so I don't know where the fuck he is. And I had my first boss fight, and the game is just really fun. And people talked about how Yakuza is really wacky. Dude, the game is fucking weird, man. Like the game straddles this line between it's really serious and you're beating the fuck out of people, like they're bashing their faces in the ground. You're curb stomping dudes. No one ever dies. You're just beating them up, and then they get up and they're like, "Oh man, that guy was super tough." After I just stomped his head into a sidewalk, the guy gets up and he's like, "Oh man, how's he so strong?" Like,
oh man.
And then like another thing you can do is like, I just got a combat style where you automatically pick up environments from the object while you're fighting guys. And I was fighting this guy, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, I picked up a motorcycle, and I was swinging the motorcycle around and beating this guy in the head. And then so I knocked all these guys out with a motorcycle, and afterwards they're like, "Oh, I guess we should go home now."
Guess we should go home. What day is it again? What's my name?
Yeah, so the game, and like their side quests are so weird. There was a side quest I was doing yesterday where there's a rock band, a punk rock band, and they have this really big audience, and they're all like hard ass punk dudes. But then it turns out the guys in the band are all choir boys. And like they actually don't know how to be punks at all, so I have to teach them how to be punks.
Okay.
And like tell them what to say
make
and
them
stuff.
hard.
Yeah, it's so love making them hard.
Yeah.
So anyways, we should probably get out of what we've been playing. But Yakuza 0, I'm enthralled with it, and I'm hooked into the story and the characters in a way that I wasn't expecting. They're all really cool and unique and interesting.
Who's the guy that shows up and kicks your ass once in a while?
Oh, Mr. Shakedown.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. That's one of the side quests. It's
He's like a 7 foot tall dude with a baby face who
with
just
a baby
kicks your ass
face
and
and like
takes
a
your
fedora,
money.
and like he has this unique mechanic where if you see him in the open world as you're running around, he'll come up to you, engage you in a fight, and every time he hits you, you lose like $100,000, and then like you have to beat him to get all your money back, but he's so strong, so if he hits you twice, you're pretty much dead.
Yeah.
At least right now where I am in the game. I'm sure I just need to like level up, because that's the other thing, it's an RPG, so you're like leveling up all your abilities and your strength.
It
and
does seem really cool.
It's really impressive, and I'm excited because they just released Yakuza Kiwami, which is a remake of the first Yakuza on PS. I think it was released on PS3/PS4, so it's like a straddling the line game like Yakuza 0 was. That's why it doesn't look very pretty, but you know, it's good enough.
Wasn't Yakuza on PS2 at all?
Yes. What did I say? It was released on PS1.
No, you said PS3, PS4.
Yakuza 1, the original, was released on PS2. This is a remake of that game. Yeah. So it's actually like all the assets are redone. So it's like it's done where it looks like Yakuza 0, but it's just Yakuza 1.
Yeah.
And so
this is a long-running franchise.
Yeah, and they just announced Yakuza Kiwami 2. So it seems like they're actually going back and maybe remaking all of the games now that they released
and then
0
they'll get
to get all of us
6
into
or
the
whatever.
game.
Then they'll release the new one. And
6 is coming out next year.
Okay.
It's going to come out probably before Yakuza Kiwami 2. So I'm going to have to make a decision. Like, I'll probably... Well, we'll see.
Do you really need to play all the Yakuza games?
Dude, I don't know. I'm hooked into I'm hooked into the characters, and like that's... Everyone says that they all have really cool stories, and it kind of will be a bummer to like... I'll get the prequel, and then I'll skip... I don't want to... I'm definitely not going to play all of them, but I might at least play one.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
that
okay,
makes
now
sense.
I've had enough, and then I'll maybe try to catch up. Apparently, in each game, they do a recap at the beginning of what's happened before, because it's like a crime soap opera, you know, and there's a lot of like intrigue that, to me, I'm I want to feel as invested as possible when
Yeah.
I go into the newest version.
Makes sense. You're all in.
I would love it if they did
Going
an English
all
dub,
in.
though. Oh my gosh, I think it would make it better for me.
For the new one, they probably will, right?
I don't know. They
I
haven't
feel like
done
their
it.
audience is growing.
Yeah, maybe. I hope so.
It just seems like Yakuza is a bigger part of the conversation these days than
Yeah.
it used to be. It was way, way niche back in the day. Now, it seems like everyone's at least trying it. I mean, you're trying it.
Yeah. It's really, really cool. I highly recommend it. So
right.
that's what I've been playing, Sean.
Good recommendation.
Let's get into announcements.
Announcements.
So some announcements happened this week that were pretty
did
cool.
they?
Yeah, announcements did happen.
Damn. Okay.
Sean, read us the headline on this first one. This is probably the biggest one, I think,
Yeah,
this week.
this is pretty cool.
It's-
4 new
it's
versions
both cool and not cool at the same time.
of LA Noire coming soon.
November 14th is
Now,
when they're coming, Sean.
yeah. Well, I mean, the article is loading, so not my fault.
So they announced a bunch of versions. Sean,
So we've got
tell
LA
us about
Noire,
these.
the VR case files on the Vive. So
Yes.
that's a VR game. Wait, is there
Tell them Tell
is there a
people what
remake
this
of LA
is.
Noire? Is that one of them?
This is a look. So
Okay,
I'll
all
tell
right.
you.
Yeah, this is kind of out of order.
The VR case files features 7 select cases from the original game, rebuilt specifically for virtual reality on the HTC Vive. So that's a new experience using cases from the game. But
Yeah, that's
then we got
Then we got LA Noire for the Switch. So that's an updated version of LA Noire.
yeah. Well, no, we should just read what it says.
It features the complete original game and all additional downloadable content with specific enhancements, including a Joy-Con mode with gyroscopic gesture-based controls, HD rumble, cool, and a new wide and over-the-shoulder camera angles, plus contextual touchscreen controls for portable detective
That's
work.
cool. It's
Yeah.
not just a straight up port. They're actually
yeah.
adding Switch functionality. Mm-hmm. I like that.
And then they're also porting it up to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, which is the complete original game and all DLC, technical enhancements for greater visual fidelity and authenticity, enhanced lighting and clouds. Great.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta get some good clouds in there. New cinematic camera angles,
That's
high resolution
interesting.
textures, and more. Plays natively in 1080p for PS4 and Xbox One. And stunning 4K for PlayStation 4 Pro and Xbox One X.
Now, this is interesting to me for a multitude of reasons. First of all, I never played LA Noire. Did you?
I played a tiny bit of it, but I was not
always-
hooked.
Oh, you weren't?
No.
You see, that's the thing. I heard it was really divisive. I looked it up. It's got an 89% on Metacritic.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Well, the problem is I played it after GTA 4 and 5 had come out.
Uh-huh.
And it's kind of like the awkward first steps toward those masterpieces. I mean, it's
Well, this
pieces
came out
of that-
after GTA 4.
It was after GTA 4, but you know, GTA 4 was still super wonky and like the
Yeah.
driving was really shitty and all
Yeah.
of that. So it's like GTA 4, but with less budget. And just getting around the town and seeing that, I'd played so much of GTA 4 that I was like, all right, I don't really need to play this game.
Yeah.
And then the detective work is what's really interesting because you're watching people's reactions and their faces are animating certain ways and you got to see like, oh, he's
lying or telling the
or
truth.
he's hiding something.
Now,
or
I heard
whatever.
that the facial animations are kind of wonky in a way. Like,
They're-
did you experience that?
Yeah,
they
they're-
made a big push. They were like, we are doing. They they tried to say that they coined this whole new way of doing facial capture for games, and it turns out that what they were doing wasn't really the best way to do it, and people have kind of like integrated on that,
Yeah.
iterated on that since then.
Yeah, well, it's firmly rooted in Uncanny Valley, and it's
Okay.
like slightly too
That's kind of
exaggerated because
frustrating.
that's also part of the game.
Well, they have to, right? Because I
Yeah.
mean, like a normal person doesn't just like all of a sudden make a freaky face every
Yeah, like,
time they lie, you know? Boo, 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 boo.
Yeah,
I think he's telling the truth.
it's a really interesting game, and actually, the story of that studio is tragic because they made this game. They were crunching on it for
Yeah.
years and years. It took way too long to come out. They released it to critical acclaim and decent sales, but not amazing sales, and then they just shut the whole
Yeah,
team
it's not as
Bungie
tragic
down.
as you may think, though. I've heard a lot of insider stories about they probably deserve to be shut down.
Well, it's still tragic that they.
It's tragic that
crunched
people lost
for
their
life
jobs,
and then
but I
shut
mean, I think
down.
they made a lot of really poor decisions. And
Sure,
they
but
did-
not
they
everyone
did-
there.
They did things. Yeah, not everyone there, but I've heard stories of sexual harassment, of like really bad planning. Like
Yeah.
there are people
Those
that
two go hand in hand.
Yeah, exactly. I just heard things that just made me kind of cringe a little bit.
Yeah.
And I always felt the same way. And then like recently, heard some stuff that I was like, okay, well, that kind of
Well, it
sucks.
depends on the perspective.
Yeah, it's
that you're
definitely
getting that from.
yeah.
Also, it was on Australia, the island of thieves and miscreants.
And
so-
spiders.
Yeah, and spiders.
Fuck that place.
So you can already tell there's something going down.
So the conundrum I'm in is like, I never played it. I always was intrigued by it. I always wanted to try it. I don't know. This doesn't necessarily scream out Switch game to me.
No, but you know what? I'll play anything on Switch.
But see, that's how I feel. I'll feel like I'll play anything on Switch. I want to play it. I'm sure it's going to look great on the Switch because the game looked good to begin with. And they, it seems like they're doing some cool new stuff that got over-the-shoulder camera angles. That's interesting to me. I'm assuming that's just to present everything a little bit better.
Interesting.
Well, I think it's cool because it's like they're changing how they're presenting the game to you, and they're doing the same thing with the PS4. And they say they have new cinematic camera angles. Wonder what that means. But I have a PS4 Pro, so this is the kind of game that I want to. I'm gonna have to I want to see comparisons before I buy it, because if it looks really, really good on Pro, because it's a story-based game and it's something that maybe like Maggie and I will want to kind of play through together, that might be the experience for me.
Yeah, I really wonder if it's going to look that good though, because it's putting a new coat of paint on those old ass animations.
Look at what Rockstar did with Grand Theft Auto 5 PS3 to PS4.
Yeah, but the gap there. But
difference.
Those animations on PS3 were pretty sophisticated.
Yeah.
Whereas LA Noire, one of the problems is that they were, like you said, they were experimenting with mocap, and they had their own mocap studio.
Well, what I'm saying though is I'm not talking about animations. I'm saying the game in general looked way better.
I know, but it's going to be like a really, really high res texture on an outdated animation, and that's going to look weird.
Yeah, it could. Now, here's another thing for all of you out there listening. If you're wondering too, where will I buy this game? Some weird information has come out. Apparently, LA Noire on Switch is going to be $49.99, which sounds okay until you find out that on the other platforms it's $39.99.
Yeah, that's weird.
So what's going on here is the Switch tax, which unfortunately apparently has to happen. Some guys did some research on Twitter, was posting some information. He dug into it a little bit, and he said he found out that to ship a game on Switch, as far as getting the same amount of return profit from that game as you would on another console, you have to use an 8 gigabyte card or less. Because the cards are so expensive, and the cut that Nintendo takes from what you're getting or from what you're selling, it equals out in a way that I think it's 60% different. I wish I should have brought the tweet up.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what's going on.
For some context,
there's a huge difference.
Publishers get 70% total, and then developers get 30%, right?
So
that's the general deal.
So there's a platform fee for putting your game on that platform, which is different for all the consoles. I'm sure Xbox and Xbox and PlayStation are pretty similar. I think Nintendo, they're saying it's different. It's probably a little bit higher.
You think? So it's not just the cartridge that's
there's more to
difference?
it apparently, but the cartridge is the big factor that you can change to increase your profit ratio.
Yeah.
So basically, games people are getting screwed because cartridges are really expensive. So I think they said that you have to use an 8 gigabyte card to match the profit ratio that you would get on a 50 gigabyte Blu-ray disc. Which is crazy because Blu-ray discs are so much cheaper to ship games on.
And that's like a dual layer Blu-ray disc, right?
Yeah. And so
which is more expensive than
and
the
this
base
is why
Blu-ray
what
disc.
you're finding now, this is why we talked about last week, it digs in a little bit more the topic we were talking about where games are requiring you to install data even though you bought the cartridge, because the publishers are realizing, shit, we can't make money off of putting games on the Switch because they're too big.
Yeah.
And the cartridges are going to be too much money.
So for reference, I'm sure if you have a modern console, you've noticed that AAA games can be 40 to 60 gigs, and then they have DLC, and then they have day one patches and all of that, and then it adds up. So there's and the indie
Switch
games will fit on 8 gigs, nothing else will.
The Switch is basically a PS3, Xbox 360, and games were big even back then.
Yeah,
they weren't as big as they are on PS4 and Xbox One, but they're still way bigger than 8 gigabytes.
Yeah.
For the most part,
Yeah.
if you're getting a AAA game. So
All right, well,
I think that's really interesting, and I'm wondering how this is going to play out. Like,
I would hope that's a price that they can drive down as they get more efficient at manufacturing the carts, or they like their contract is up and they can make a
or
new
Nintendo
deal.
needs to step in and be like, hey, yeah, we screwed this up. Like, maybe we need to change their fees in a way that make this more approachable for developers. Because that sucks that you're going to get now every person who wants to be physical only is going to have to suck it up and just get SD cards. Because I'm telling you right now that the floodgates have opened, every game's going to require you to install along with your cartridge, because they're going to want to use the 8 gigabyte cartridge and make the most money.
Yeah. Well, and that sucks. Like, having that weird convoluted process really sucks. But I wonder how much people will care about the price difference. I wonder what the data will show, because for me, I'm actually fine paying a little more to have something on Switch compared to having it on PS4 because of the portability. Like, I like that experience so much more that I'll pay the tax.
See, I disagree, because to me, if the game is not lesser, I want to say, but I mean, in this case, it is a less pretty, it is a less technically impressive experience than I'm getting on the other platforms. It feels weird to pay more for that.
It feels weird, but I think you'll still do it. And I think a lot of people will.
Yeah, so we'll see. I don't know what I'm going to play this on, but I'm so intrigued. I mean, there's so many questions this opens up. One of the big ones I've seen going around is, does this mean we're going to get Grand Theft Auto 5 on Switch? And I think if people buy this game, fuck yeah, we're getting Grand Theft Auto 5 on Switch. I think it's so
sweet.
weird that LA Noire is the first game they're jumping on putting on Switch.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it be Grand Theft Auto 5 first? You know that game's going to sell.
I don't know. Maybe the Switch just can't handle that, or maybe it's a question of battery
LA Noire
life
is
too.
also an open world, though. So,
It is,
I mean,
but it's lower fidelity.
If they're getting that on,
and it's not as large.
But I'm just saying, I'm sure they could get Grand Theft Auto 5
Potentially,
to run on Switch.
but think about it. Like, Zelda drains the battery in 2 hours ish.
Yeah.
Think about putting Grand Theft Auto 5 on it. It would be that or worse.
So what? I get 5 minutes. It's good.
5 minutes of playtime. You can't actually charge it fast enough while you're playing.
So anyways, we'll move on. I'm excited about that, though. And
Yeah, it's cool.
another game someone brought up that I was actually thinking about, I would love to play on Switch if they want to keep bringing out all these old Rockstar games, is oh shoot, I just lost it
Red
now. Not Red
Bully?
Dead.
Bully? Rockstar Table
Napoli.
Tennis?
Oh, Max Payne 3. That's it.
Okay.
Max Payne 3 was a
a
really
great game.
awesome game.
Yeah. I
Actually,
love that
could-
gameplay.
That could actually go into our later segment, our main topic for today.
Maybe.
But I'm not going to. Max Payne 3 was a really fun game,
Yeah.
and the story was cool, and it was graphically awesome. Really.
Oh, you know what other game I really think I would play on Switch?
What?
Farming Simulator 2017.
Oh, yeah, baby! Dude, so they released a video this week. They announced Farming Simulator 2017 is coming to Switch, and it was this really nice video. Did you see it at all?
No.
It's the CEO of the company, or maybe it's the lead designer. It's whatever. It's one of the top dogs over at Farming Simulator Company. And he's just sitting there like super enthusiastic about farming.
That's cool.
And he's just like talking about like, yeah, we partnered with all these tractor manufacturers and we have authentic tractors in here.
You know,
and
that's
he's like,
a
you can
kid
do,
who was obsessed with tractors.
Yeah, and he's like, you can do whatever you want. If you just want to focus on raising animals, just raise animals. If you want to focus on planting, you can decide if you want to be on the fields. You can do all this stuff, and it shows like it's like an open world basically, and you're driving your truck around through town, and like the game looks. Farming Simulator looks really cool.
Can you have sex with a sheep?
He didn't talk about it, but he hinted at it.
No one talks about it. Well, there are sheep. You do what
They
you
did
want.
show sheep a lot, and then they turned him around.
Whoa, just like
The camera cut away
360.
before you could see what was going to happen next. Yeah, I just thought it was a really nice video, and it's so cool to
Yeah,
like.
I'd like to see
it
that.
was
I love
all
when
dedicated
companies have a
to. It was all
personality.
dedicated to the Switch. It was like we're
Yeah.
really excited to have it on the Switch, and it looks good. You know, it's a decent looking game.
What else is coming out on Switch?
Oh my gosh, yeah, so much stuff announced. We got dates for Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2 on Switch, which we knew was coming for a
Yeah.
little while, but we didn't know exactly when.
So
This
when are
fall
they coming out?
lineup is getting ridiculous for the Switch.
They're
It's
fall games,
really
huh?
good. Yeah, so November 28th.
The floodgates are open, man.
The Switch versions are coming out. Apparently, if you buy the physical version, I think the first game is on the cart, but you have to download the second one digitally because they don't want to pony up the money.
You know, that's
for a bigger
fine
cart.
because I would only want to play the first one anyway.
Yeah. I like the second one. We never finished it, but it was
Played
cool.
like one level.
Okay. Next up, announced this week, something I'm excited about because I'm looking for an excuse to dive back in, is Resident Evil 7 Gold Edition. And they also announced the DLC along with this. I'm not necessarily into the Gold Edition because I already own the game,
Yeah.
but they said
Man.
Resident Evil 7's long-awaited DLC will be released for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC on December 12th.
That
Capcom,
was such a good game.
yes.
My God.
They also confirmed the delayed Not a Hero DLC, which has players assume the role of BSSA soldier Chris Redfield. So that's interesting because that's like the biggest tie-in to the other Resident Evil games.
And he wasn't
but
in the
that'll
game
be
at
able
all,
to
right?
download. No, that'll be able to download for free on December 12th as well. And then there's the End of Zoe add-on will focus on one of the Baker daughters, Zoe. The story takes place after the events of the main game. Players will explore new swamp-filled areas and be battling against new enemies. I'm all in. So on December 12th, I'm going to fire up Resident Evil. I'm going to get these two DLCs, and I've actually I bought the other DLCs, the tapes or whatever they're called, the original tape DLC editions, but I never played them.
Oh,
So that
really?
means I've got a lot of Resident Evil 7 I can go
you
through
do.
that's new stuff to play.
you do.
So we should go through that. That'll be fun.
We should. That's a great game to watch, too.
Yeah, it's beautiful and it's scary as fuck. And just somehow still so fun. Like they nail the survival combat part so well.
Because it feels like RE4. Everything feels so just realistic and visceral.
Yeah. So next up, last announcement for this week. I put this one on here. I don't know if you heard about this, just because it's so exciting to me. The Stardew Valley publishers tease new Stardew meets Harry Potter project.
What?
No formal announcement.
Like the
for a
actual
while.
IP?
It's not the IP Harry Potter.
Okay.
That would be impossible, but
Just
it
the
would be, dude, it
idea
would be
of witches and wizards attending
Yeah.
a magical school.
Yeah. Did you? So you
I
want to
hadn't
read
seen
this?
this. No. Not much is known about the title as of yet, although Bryce has alluded to an upcoming project in the past, which he characterized as being Stardew Valley meets Harry Potter. It's important to note that by Harry Potter, he's referring to the idea of witches and wizards attending a magical school, rather than indicating any formal crossover between the two franchises. Although, yes, please, let's go.
Yeah, dude. Seriously, J.K. Rowling,
Come on,
here.
JK.
Get on this.
This could be awesome.
Yes.
I mean, I still need to play Stardew Valley when that comes out on Switch.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. And it's supposedly really soon. Yeah, they tweeted an image or a couple images, I think, and it looks really cool. I'm all in on playing like a Harry Potter simulation game. That is so
for sure.
awesome.
Man, when I went
We haven't
to
gotten Harry Potter games in years now.
when I went to the what is it called? The magical world of Harry whatever.
Harry Wizard Potter.
Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Yeah, at Disneyland, and went on the ride.
You mean the Universal Studios?
At Universal Studios.
Get your shit together. Are you even a Potter fan? Are you even a pothead, bro?
Well, I hate it because in Florida everything is combined together, and you can just get like the park hopper passes and stuff.
Yeah.
But here they're completely separate. But
All right.
I was just thinking while I was waiting in line forever for the one ride, the roller coaster that's there, is what if there was a Harry Potter VR game and it was just you as a student in Hogwarts and that's it? You're going to class,
Sean,
you're gaining points for your house, you're fighting Malfoy.
Kill me right the fuck now. I don't want to live in a world where this game is not real.
I don't want to live in this world. I would live in that world.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I would never take my headset off.
I'm dead.
You'd
Shoot me
pry it
now.
off
We
my
ain't
cold,
finishing the
dead
podcast.
Harry Potter head.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. I really like Stardew Valley, and I can't wait to play it more on the Switch.
Yeah.
So that's it for announcements, Sean.
Okay. Well, what's up next?
I don't know. I hear something coming along.
Moo.
Moo. Weekly Roundup.
Moo.
All right, everybody.
Moo.
This is the segment where Sean makes dumb noises, and I talk about all the cool news stories from this week.
That's pretty much it.
Okay, Sean. Oh my goodness, that was disgusting. Whatever
Weird
that
noises.
was. Fire up the first story for us here.
I thought you talked about the stories and I made the weird noises.
We're switching.
Bethesda has an unannounced game due for release in 2017.
That's a year.
Yeah, don't know what year. They can wait. It won't be so long, is a quote from the article. Bethesda will release one more unannounced game before the end of 2017. Speaking to Tech Syndicate. Bethesda VP of Marketing, Pete Hines, otherwise known as PDH, explained, "We have a ton of stuff going on, and we even have a game coming out this year that we haven't even told anybody about yet. They can wait. It won't be so long."
So this is interesting because, as IGN says here, they already have a ton of stuff coming out this year. Wolfenstein New Colossus, so amped about that.
So cool.
The Evil Within 2. Fuck yeah, dude. We played through that first game together. That's going to be our next game we play together.
Will it?
Yeah, dude. We got to play through that together.
So we're not playing Everybody's Golf?
Well, I mean, we'll play Everybody's Golf, but that's not a game you play through together. That's like a casual thing. There's no campaign, dog.
So we're not going to play chess?
Yeah, we're going to play through chess together. Finish that campaign, dude. Dishonored, Death of the Outsider, Quake Champions, and Skyrim on Switch, Doom VFR, and Fallout 4 VR, all coming before the new year is
wowzer.
rung in.
Can I just say wowzer?
Yeah, that's totally wowzer, dude.
Booyah.
That's so wowzer. So that's interesting. There apparently was an update where Pete, tweeted the next day, I think, after this, saying yeah, disregard everything I said before or whatever. But it kind of sounds like a cover-up. And I saw, who was it that tweeted today? They made a prediction about, they think that Bethesda's going to be on the stage with Apple next week at the Apple event, and that's probably what this game's going to be. It's going to be some mobile game launching with that.
That is a pretty good prediction.
That's a really good prediction. I was like, holy shit, okay.
They already did that, though. Didn't they?
No, they did that at their own conference.
So they didn't highlight.
They did Fallout. They did Fallout
Vault
or Vault, whatever the fuck the game's
I thought
called.
they were in
Vault.
Vault. I thought Apple really pushed something for them, but maybe not.
No, they did that at their own E3 conference. Remember, they were like, "It's out right now."
Yeah,
So
I remember that part. I just, who was it then? There was a game at the Apple press conference last year.
I don't know. I don't fucking pay attention to what those Apple guys are doing.
Let's see what Apple.
Although I'm excited about that Apple Watch 3.
Whoop!
About that Apple 8 phone.
Apple 8 phone. Xbox keyboard and mouse support is definitely coming.
You hear that, everybody? We're talking about Xbox right now.
So I don't think we necessarily need to. We don't need to read through this.
No, but we don't need to read through it. I didn't even know this was a thing.
Yeah.
But it just says...
I mean, this has been a thing on so many different consoles.
It hasn't, though.
It has, though.
What keyboard is supported... I mean, oh, God. What console
The PS3 supported keyboard and mouse.
I don't think it did. Not with games.
No, it definitely did.
No, there's no way. That would
100%.
definitely be a thing. Guys, write in.
100%.
Let us know. Did keyboard and mouse work on the PlayStation 3? There were keyboards
and mice.
You could work on you could use keyboards, but I don't think games supported
No, it wasn't even that. It wasn't even like the whole just USB keyboard thing. There was a peripheral that was a keyboard and mouse that
but
you could
don't think games supported that.
I think
is what I'm
Shadowrun
saying.
did.
Maybe one game did.
Yeah.
So this is a hard push. They're saying keyboard and mouse support is definitely coming. When it does end up in games, he says Microsoft will coach developers, making sure they give players the choice in competitive games of whether they're playing against users with controllers or keyboards. This is going to be a big thing.
Why is it not just a PC at that point?
Exactly. That's why I wanted to talk about this story.
No one buys a console to play with keyboard and mouse.
I agree.
You can drag your PC over the TV and go through that pain rather than going through the pain of buying a separate Microsoft keyboard and mouse that works with it and sitting on your couch.
I have a gaming PC. I don't ever use it because I want to lay on my bed.
We're using it right now, Brad.
We are using it for recording. It's a recording PC now.
6 cores recording right now, firing on all cylinders.
These 6 cores are 7 years old. Holy fuck.
Hepta-year hexacore.
I just want to lay on my ass and
that's an awkward
use
position.
A controller.
Yeah.
Not a keyboard and mouse.
No.
And I totally agree. I feel like Xbox is really... Microsoft is going in this weird direction with the Xbox where they're basically just saying, this is a PC.
Here's our
Xbox One X. It's more powerful.
Yeah.
It's $500. You got your keyboard, you got your mouse.
Next generation, they're going to announce the Xbox PC.
Yeah, exactly. It almost seems like they're building this whole platform up in this way where it's going to be synonymous. It's going to be because all of the Xbox exclusives are also on PC. Mm-hmm. So I guess it's cool.
They don't need you to buy the hardware.
Yeah,
they need you to buy the software.
That's the weird part. It's like getting to the point where, well, why do I need an Xbox? Yeah. If these games are just going to be PC games, I'll just play on a PC, I guess.
Yeah, or just not play them. Oh, baby.
Burned. Yeah. All right. Moving on. Sean.
Splatoon 2 designers explain why you can't play Splatoon 2
Salmon Run.
Salmon Run
All the time.
all the time.
Okay. This one, this one's weird.
Now, how did they explain this?
I'm going to try to find the exact quote.
I'm not allowed to speak on it. Oh, so, okay, here we go. So they asked some questions. The guy dodged the issue. When pushed further regarding some players who say they would like to play Salmon Run mode whenever they want, Amaro became a bit more cryptic. I'm not allowed to speak on it, he said, because I'm not the game director. Wow, that's some strict hierarchy they've got there.
I don't understand.
I'm not allowed to talk because I'm not the game director.
Dude, this is Japan. This is actually what the whole crux of this article was going to come down to once we get to the end of this.
What I can say and what I think can be said is that there are lots of reasons. You have to trust us that if you could play Salmon Run online anytime, that would result in a worse experience for you and everybody.
I also want to read the quote he says before this. So he's explaining, I guess, the original question. I bought this game. Why can't I just enjoy this game the way I want? That's not how we think here. Yes, you did buy the game, but we made this game. And we're pretty confident about how this game should be enjoyed. If you stick with us and if you get past your initial resistance, you're going to have the time of your life with this game. You're really going to love it. So I was reading up more about this. This is a huge culture clash issue between Japan and Western countries, which I never knew about before. But this is a Japan mentality. Japan, someone was comparing this to restaurants, where they went into a restaurant and they got green tea, and they were like, "Can I have some sugar for my green tea?" And they're like, "We don't put sugar in the green tea." And they're like, "Well, do you have sugar? Can I just have some sugar to put in my green tea?" And they were like, "Sorry, we don't sell sugar here."
Yeah.
And then they looked at the menu, and you can order coffee. You can add sugar to your coffee. So they literally only want you to experience things the way they think they should be experienced. In America, this is the fucking country of freedom.
Well, there are restaurants like that here, too.
There are, but they're far and few between.
Not in LA. They're all over the place.
Well, LA's fucked up.
Yeah.
But they're still far and few between.
But this is something that's really common in sushi in Japan as well.
Yeah.
The whole experience is designed right down to the restaurant will have 5 seats in it, and you have to wait for 2 months to get in, and then you get there crazy. And you have this, there's a ritual to eating, and the chef is talking to you, and you have to say a certain thing after you're supposed to smack your lips and slurp ramen to express your enjoyment.
Yeah. So well, here's the fucking problem.
There are a lot of rules that seem weird to us. This is America. There are probably the same the other way around.
If I want to put ketchup on my goddamn green tea, you give me ketchup, okay?
Because there's sugar in it.
Salmon Run, the people are pissed online because they love this mode. They can't play it
online,
and so they bought this game, and the developers are literally like, "Look, you don't know how to have fun with this game.
Yeah,
we know how you should have fun with this game.
Well,
you can't do it the way you want to do it because that won't be more fun.
You know what?
And that's not how games. That's not how games work.
You know what this reeks of? It reeks of an actual technical reason that they don't want to tell us.
No, I don't think it is. I think this is their mindset. And someone was posting on Reddit, and they said now I finally understand Nintendo. Because this is a Japanese mindset of how they make a product, and they're going to give you something, and they're going to make it and give it to you the way they want to. They're not listening to you because they think that they are. And even in here where he's like, I can't talk about it because I'm not the game director. Mm-hmm. That doesn't necessarily happen over here with our studios. There's definitely a hierarchy where you have the higher up people are definitely the ones in charge of talking about things, but you wouldn't say that necessarily. You wouldn't say I can't talk about it. I'm not allowed to speak on it.
So I'm reading into you have to trust us that if you could play Salmon Run online anytime, that would result in a worse experience for you and everybody. I'm thinking there's actually, and he says there are lots of reasons. I think there are some actual reasons.
Well, I think the main reason is they don't want players in Salmon Run taking away from Turf War.
Yeah, they don't want to split their player base and have less than X CCU because that's a worse experience, makes matchmaking worse.
Now explain what you just said, because not everyone knows what the fuck you just said. So I don't even know what you just said. CCU?
Yeah, concurrent users.
Okay.
So
see, I would say concurrent users because I'm a human being, not a fucking bot.
Well, all right. I mean, I guess you just don't like acronyms because you're not efficient. So basically, a game's concurrent users can lead to a better experience. So you're playing a game that has
totally.
a million players online. That means you get a match really quickly.
Exactly.
Because the game can find an enemy team that is like in skill level to your team really quickly because there are just so many players out there. It's just pure statistics at that point. Then you play a game that has almost no players. Like this was a huge problem for games like Titanfall and Titanfall 2.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
You play a game with no players and you're sitting there waiting for
Our player
15
count
minutes
is up,
to
by the
get
way.
into a game. And that's just a worse experience. And I'm not actually ragging on
Yeah.
Titanfall. Like they're awesome games.
He
but
knows it's the best game ever.
there
made.
are like Call of Duty has had this where, you know, when the next game comes out, there are usually plenty of players that still play the current one. But when the next game comes out, sometimes
Yeah.
they drop off and then it's tough to find a game.
So so I think there's reasons, but I think there's also just there's a lot of we want it to be this way. We're not going to change it. Look at Splatoon 1 for an example. There are tons of things that people wanted Nintendo to fix with Splatoon 1. The lifetime of the product they didn't fix. Still haven't fixed it in Splatoon 2. They do not let you change your weapons in a lobby.
Yeah.
You cannot exit a lobby once it's started.
Yeah, which
you have
sucks.
to watch Marina
Those
and
things
Pearl
suck.
show you the map rotation every time you start up the game. These are things that people did not like, and they fucking raged about it on Splatoon 1. A whole new game's out. They didn't change it because they don't want to. That's not the experience they want to give you.
Yeah, they're providing a holistic experience. They have the vision, and they're gonna shove it down our throats,
Yeah.
and we're gonna eat it.
I'll take it.
What is the salmon run mode? Because I've actually never played it,
It's the Horde mode.
and it's online, right?
Yeah.
with other
so
people.
you play with a team of 3 or 4?
Is it longer than a turf war match?
A little bit, but not much. It's like maybe like a minute or two longer. Maybe not even. It goes by really quick. It's fun. It's
Okay.
really, really fun.
Because another thing to consider that we consider at Riot for League is that different game modes and different game lengths and even different numbers of players in a game stress servers in a very different way.
Yeah.
So like if you have a shorter game mode with lots of stops and starts, that can take up so much more server space. If you have like you can max out
they're
your game
also
servers.
running AI and stuff on this server, so maybe they are more
So
expensive to run.
it could be a resource thing where like if you have 10 salmon run games, it takes like 20 servers or something, whereas you could fit 200 Turf Wars games on that.
Yeah.
And maybe it's something they're just not equipped to handle.
Yeah,
So
it could be it.
that may be why they gate it, and it could actually have an adverse effect on your experience. So
That's still something.
there are reasons it could be true.
It could be, but that to me is not that's not necessarily an excuse, because it seems like you should be able to figure out a way to pony up for more servers or whatever,
Yeah,
like
you
to make
could.
the experience better for the players who are buying your game.
Sure, you could.
could.
But this game is also a really large scale. Like there are millions of people playing this game.
Yeah.
So that's
So
a
they've
tough
made
challenge.
tons of money off of
Yeah,
it.
but sometimes adding more servers is not really, it doesn't really solve the problem, They have to have the infrastructure to support that, and they have to be able to make those servers efficient and make sure that they're robust and not just like dropping games all the time.
Yeah.
So maybe they're just not there yet and they're trying to work around that. Maybe they are just set in their ways and it's like a pride thing or something, who knows.
Jumping on to the next story, we're just going to skim over this. I just wanted to put it in here because to me, it's blowing my mind. PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds has now sold over 10 million copies.
Yep. Not even
On
released
PC
yet.
alone. It's not even out. How do they do that?
Remarkable.
That's crazy.
That's amazing.
It's crazy. I saw that apparently the number of concurrent users has now overcome or is about to overcome Dota 2.
Yeah. Yeah, it overcame. It was the number one
It's still
played game on Steam, which Dota 2 and CSGO have held that title for years.
I think it still hasn't it still hasn't beat the peak Dota 2 concurrent numbers, which were like 900 some
because
thousand.
they probably have
like
like
that.
20 million accounts or something like that.
Yeah, but it's getting close.
Yeah. It's
so
growing at an astronomical rate.
It's
If
crazy.
they can keep that up, and if they can add different modes or like make this more of a robust game that people will continue to come back for.
because there's like not
They're
a lot of
set.
content in this game.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
They've got their work cut out for them. There are
sure.
so many awesome things they could change to just make the experience better.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think mechanically it really feels good as a shooter yet.
It doesn't.
And visually it doesn't look amazing, though. I was actually kind of surprised at how good it looks on max settings.
Yeah.
But they like they really. This is kind of the perfect
No one
scenario
plays
for
on
a game
Mac settings
company.
though.
Yeah, because well, actually, they fixed a lot of that.
I know they did, but I'm still just saying for performance issues. they don't
Yeah.
this.
This is the perfect scenario for any game company. You put something out that's lower risk. So they released it as an MVP with basically just the features that they could cobble together in a year or whatever of development. They released that to gauge interest. People loved it. It took off. And now they have the resources to make it the perfect game that they envisioned from the beginning. So this is a really cool model that allows for that. And I hope we see them capitalize on that. And from everything I've seen so far, they will. Like, they're making the right decisions and they're investing back into the game, which is just refreshing to see.
Yeah. And that's going to be it. We're going to wrap up the roundup there since we're running a little hot, running a little
Running hot. Always running
long
hot.
here, long and hot and hard. That's what we do here at Game Stuff Studios.
That's what Brad does.
Okay, well, let's look at what's coming out this week.
Sure.
See what we got.
Sure.
This is a little
That's this
interesting.
week?
Yeah, this already
that's this week?
this I
just gonna
guess
keep saying
just
that.
came out today.
Dang,
September 8th.
Shun.
We have Lego Worlds.
Lego Worlds for Switch.
Offers open environment.
Oh my god, this is a
procedurally
stacked
generated
2
worlds.
weeks, man.
This game actually looks really cool. Lego
Yeah.
Worlds. I watched a video today.
We'll have to check it out.
I don't know.
That could be a good Big Bear game.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
we
what
get
a-
Jared and Stephanie in on that?
Get them in on it.
Okay. I'm thinking about it.
6-player Lego Worlds.
I forgot Maggie's got a Switch too.
Yeah. All right, next up,
next?
Rayman Legends Definitive Edition on Switch. Now,
September 12th.
I'm going to be brutally honest here. I have this on PS4, and I'm definitely going to buy it on Switch.
You're buying it again?
Oh, yeah.
I think.
Oh, yeah.
Have
This
I bought it more
game
than once? I
is
guess maybe I
so
only bought it
packed
once.
with content.
I just feel like I don't need to play it again.
It's
though.
mind-blowing. Well, I haven't beaten it. So I would much prefer to play this wherever I am. So I played the first one. I played Rayman Origins on Vita.
Yeah.
And that was such an awesome experience.
well,
'cause
you know,
it's so
Legends is on
bite-sized.
Vita too, right?
It is, but I think now that it's coming to Switch, like that's where I want it.
Yeah.
The bigger screen will really help because there's just so much density in this art.
And the problem I have with the Switch in general, though, lately, and it's getting more. The issue is become exacerbated by
Okay.
how many platformers are coming out, like
Yeah.
2D platformers, like Sonic Mania and stuff that I'm playing.
Yeah. The D-pad.
The Switch does not have a good D-pad.
Yeah.
And I am wondering, it seems like it would be so easy for Nintendo to make a custom left Joy-Con that's just, here's your D-pad Joy-Con.
That'd be cool
So
if they
when you
started
don't want
customizing
when you don't want
individually.
to when you don't want to have to like have the Joy-Cons that are always the ones that you split off to do multiplayer with, you just snap on your
That's the
good
sound,
D-pad.
right?
Yeah, snap on that good D-pad. Rayman does play pretty decently with an analog stick, though, so it shouldn't be too
Oh,
bad.
yeah.
But
I prefer to play with an analog stick.
but a lot of games, I'm realizing the analog stick's just not
Yeah.
enough, and the
Yeah.
D-pad is also non-existent because it's just 4 buttons that are separated, so it's really hard to do stuff
it's hard
with
to like
them.
roll your thumb across and do diagonals and stuff.
Yeah.
I cannot recommend this game enough. We've
It's
talked
really,
about
really
this before.
good.
These
This-
are master classes in platforming. Like,
If you haven't bought it, please buy it so we can get more because I love these games.
yeah, my God, Michel Ancel. Like, stop making Beyond Good and Evil 2 for
No,
a
fuck
decade.
that.
It's never coming out.
That's coming out, and I want
Never
it
coming
so
out.
bad.
You remember that demo he showed?
Michelle
that was,
Ancel, I know you're listening.
purely a
Don't
tech
listen to this
demo.
asshole over here.
Yo, Michel.
Listen to me.
Hey, Michel.
Michelle Ancel.
If you know what? Release Beyond Good and Evil 2. Keep
Thank
working
you.
on it.
Thank
but while
you.
you're working on it, since we know it's going
Also
to take
do
another
Rayman.
dozen years, just make
You're
another
a genius.
Rayman.
Just do Rayman.
You're
as
a
well.
fucking genius. Next up,
Monster Hunter
God,
Stories on Nintendo 3DS.
So many huge games coming out.
September 8th. This game is getting great reviews.
Really?
So
it's a spin-off.
It's a turn-based, RPG with
It's a turn-based,
Monster Hunter
yeah.
stuff. Yeah, turn-based, yeah.
Turn-based, yeah. Haha.
Dude, yeah, games are really firing up all of a sudden.
Divinity Original Sin 2, which
on PC,
I've heard is a really, really solid
September
strategy
14th.
RPG.
I love Divinity Original Sin. I played it on PS4. The game is so good.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm just going to wait for the console port. But
Is it
I'm
not
really
coming
excited
out,
about it.
Simultaneously?
Not that I know of.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't look like it.
I don't think so. What did just come out was Pillars of Eternity, which is a very similar game. But I'm so stacked up on games right now. It's like I just bought Yakuza.
Yeah, you did.
So
don't get too stacked.
Can't get too stacked, bro.
So we've got NASCAR Heat 2 on PC.
NASCAR Heat 2. September 12th, Sean. You got to read the dates so
Probably
people
not
know.
going to... So here, let me press... never mind. They're not all September 12th. I was going to just say they're all September 12th. Damn it. All right.
East 8. Lacrimosa of Dana.
What?
East 7, Memories of Celceta, was an awesome game. This game looks really pretty. It's on Vita and PS4 and PC. Dude,
Cool.
my gosh, there's so many cool games coming out right now.
Yeah, there are. Brad, you didn't say the date after you lambasted
I said September 12th.
me. No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Rewind the tape.
The tape.
Pro Evo Soccer 2018 coming to Xbox One, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and I'm assuming PlayStation 4 and everything else.
Probably, yeah.
September 12th. That's a soccer game.
Drive Girls. September 8th. That's today. That's I can't say what day that is. September 8th, 2017.
Man, that sounds like a Vita game.
The
if I've ever heard
turbo-powered
one.
Drive Girls is a fast-paced, story-driven game that transports you to a world where it's normal and it doesn't tell you anymore. But
Okay. A world
it's a normal
where
world.
it's normal. All right. Samurai Riot, which is a 2D cooperative beat-em-up arcade game, is coming to PC on September 13th.
Okay, we
Which
got
is weird.
Baja Edge of Control. I feel like I remember these games.
Yeah.
Baja Edge of
it's
Control
like ATV
HD
racing.
contains more than 1,000 miles of the toughest terrain Mother Nature has to offer. September
Wow.
14th on Xbox One,
Okay.
PS4, and PC.
All right. Tooth and Tail for PlayStation 4, September 12th. So Tooth and Tail reimagines the often brutally inaccessible real-time strategy genre as a fast, approachable,
We don't
and
know. Something else.
bombastic.
Oh, whoa, the
something.
Dishonored expansion's coming out this week?
Yeah, apparently.
Dishonored Death of the Outsider is coming out on Xbox One, PC, and I'm assuming PS4? Yeah, PS4. September
$30. So is that
September 15th.
standalone?
Yes.
Okay.
It's standalone. I'll have to see what the reviews are on
Yeah.
that.
All right. And looks like there's one more. Brad.
There might be more.
I hope not. It's so many games.
Yeah, we'll just end at this one.
Happy Dungeons on PlayStation 4, September 12th. This is a... All right, I'll
it's
just
a
read the description.
cooperative action RPG.
Okay.
That sounds cool. 4 friends.
Yeah,
I
up to
love
4
that
friends.
stuff.
Love it.
Looks like it's only coming out on PS4.
Yeah.
And that's it for what's coming out this week. Dude, there's
That's
not
a lot
enough
of good
time
stuff.
in life. I need to just die and start a new life because I'm out of time.
Sometimes I wish I could.
Oh my gosh, I want to play games so bad. There's so many things going on that I can't play games.
You know what we should do
I
during
want
the
to play
podcast?
Yakuza
Just play the
this
games.
weekend, but I can't. We should just instead of
play 'em.
Instead of recording a podcast, let's just play more
We'll
games.
just do Let's Plays. People will watch us playing games.
I don't think anyone wants Let's Plays anymore, but I don't think anyone wants podcasts either. So, okay, so we're gonna jump into our main discussion topic of the week here.
Hey.
For this week, we had a thought. We wanted to talk about games that we loved that didn't get enough love.
Yeah, so maybe they weren't critically acclaimed. They were stinking steamers.
Yeah, maybe they were shitty games,
Or maybe they were actually great games that the rest of the world just didn't get.
just kind of
They just didn't
glossed
understand.
over, maybe.
Yeah.
Or like
Sleeper hits,
it
as
might
they call
maybe
them.
not even sleeper hits. These might be games that were big at the time, but just have fallen by the wayside and people don't think about anymore. So
Really? Were we doing that? That was part of it?
yeah, I think so. That's some of
I feel like you added that just to make it easier on yourself.
No, that's
because you couldn't
that's-
think of real
no,
examples.
that's exactly what I did.
You cheap, cheating
That's
bastard.
exactly what I did.
All right, well, tell me one then.
Okay.
What's your first game?
We're gonna start off. I'm going way back in time here.
Not as back as I'm going.
We'll see. We're going back to Toy Story 2 on PlayStation 1.
Okay.
Now, this is a game that I never played the entire game. I didn't own it until maybe a couple months ago. But I had a demo disc. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna.
Oh, so you played it previously?
Yeah.
And then you bought it recently?
Yeah, let me tell you. Sean.
Why?
Let me fill you in on what happened here.
What's wrong with
So one day, when I was a kid, a demo
Yeah.
disc came in the mail.
Yeah.
PlayStation demo disc.
Just the desk, or was it attached to a magazine?
It was a magazine. There was a magazine.
That's what I
there.
thought.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool magazine.
Come on, paint the picture.
And so I slotted this demo disc into the PlayStation 1 disc insertion system
Yeah.
mechanism.
Yeah, the clamshell design.
Yeah, I clamped down the lid interface, latched it.
Did it latch?
Hit the power. It latched. Hit the power button.
That's so technical.
Fired it up. Moved through that interface, and saw something that caught my eye. Toy Story 2.
Yeah.
I love Toy Story. When I was a kid, fucking loved Toy Story. As an adult, that's pretty much just a kid.
Yeah.
I still love Toy Story.
Wow. Big surprise.
This Toy Story 2 game on PlayStation 1 blew my mind. You played as Buzz Lightyear, and you were toy-sized, obviously, and you had the entire house, like Andy's entire house, to traverse through. So you could go down to the kitchen and you could find the RC car, and like you could challenge him to a race around he was in the garage. So you challenge him into a race into the garage, and so you could go up to the attic, and in the attic there was like a secret robot boss you had to fight on these things. And so it was like the old school platformer game where like there's just a bunch of different areas to find and like little challenges to complete, but it felt so awesome. You started off in Andy's room, I think. And then you got out of Andy's room and you were like in the hallway, and it was like the house from Toy Story.
That sounds really cool.
And it was so much fun. This game, this was a time when there was Pixar movie games like for every game, like not even just Pixar, Disney. Like Disney had Emperor's New Groove and Bugs Life. And Bugs Life was actually originally on here because Bugs Life I think is a shitty game, but I loved the shit out of it because it was like one of the only games I had for PlayStation.
Yeah.
And it was cool because it's like you would see a cutscene from the movie and it would be like, whoa, that's so beautiful. And then it would go into the game and you're like, whoa, it looks just like the movie.
It's even better.
And but the scale in Toy Story 2 was something that I had never felt before. I don't think there had been anything like that where you were just so small and you really felt like you were in this big house, and it was so cool exploring it as a toy. So I'm saying this game in particular because you can actually go and you can get this game right now. It's a PlayStation 1 classic on PS4. And wait, no, PlayStation 1 classics aren't on PS4. Sorry.
Wow.
It's on Vita. And then PS3 probably. So one night I was up really late at night and I looked through. There was a sale and a bunch of PlayStation games were on sale, original PlayStation games, including all of those old Pixar and Disney games, including Toy Story 2. So I bought it and I played through that whole first level, and I just it was such a magical experience. I felt like a kid again.
Yeah.
And the game's actually like still kind of fun. It's not amazingly tight like gameplay wise.
It's like the sense of exploration is there.
It was,
and that's all you need.
It was unbelievable. That game, I feel like, I don't know how popular it was when it came out, but if you like Toy Story and you want to see what I'm talking about, just pick it up. It's usually like a couple dollars on PlayStation, and it is really cool.
Cool. My first one, I'm not going to go that far back for.
Ooh,
actually.
I knew you weren't going that far back.
I will. Don't worry. This one was on PS3 and Xbox 360.
Okay.
You played it as well. It was I think 2006, maybe 2007, Prince of Persia. It was the cell-shaded Prince of Persia.
Yes.
And it was the last Prince of Persia game that Ubisoft released, which is sad.
You're right, aren't you? There hasn't been another one.
I think
that franchise
there must have been
dormant.
like a downward sales trend up to that point, and then it just kind of fell off a cliff. But that game
was incredible.
Was on par with Prince of Persia, the first 3D Prince of Persia, which was amazing. And it was completely different. It was just out there. Like you were in this world full of like floating hot air balloons and like this crazy corruption beast.
In
that
a
you had to
time
fight.
when games were all dark and gray and bleak, like that was the trend where everything went that Gears of War route.
Yep.
This game was vibrant and colorful,
super saturated.
and it was cell shaded.
Yeah, cell shaded. There was a crazy lighting model.
The art
Everything was just
amazing.
so. Yeah, it was.
Do you remember they showed a screenshot of like what the concept art was, and then they showed like the actual game, and it was like, holy shit, it looks like the concept art.
It's a beautiful game, and I think to this day it'll probably hold up just because
if they did an HD release, it certainly would.
Interestingly, the prince was voiced by Nolan North,
who was
also
annoying.
plays Nathan Drake. But he sounds exactly like Nathan Drake.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he got into the studio and they were like, hey,
do your Drake thing.
Yeah, do the Drake guy. Do the Drake guy.
And
we love it.
He probably did it in like 5 seconds and left and made
and he was
100K.
probably so pissed. He was probably just like,
But
let me act, please.
You had a female companion who could help you platform. So there were all these like joint moves you could do to get to higher areas, and you were collecting orbs the whole time.
And if you died, she would save you.
Yeah. Yep. like once, right? Or something. It was some kind of meter.
There was, it was like she could only do it a couple times before she got tired, and then if you died, then I'm not, when I'm saying die, I think I mean like falling from a platform. Like if you, because there's a lot of platforming. So if you fail, she grabs you back.
I think like the screen would turn gray and she would grab you.
And it was a really cool animation.
But the platforming style was amazing because you're like swinging across rings and stuff. So it's super fast and fluid, and you're just making split-second decisions to get to where you need to go. It's really precise. And these orbs, some of them were hidden in really tough to get to spots. Yeah. So you had to like really hone your platforming skills to get all the orbs. And I just remember the ending to that game gave me chills.
Dude.
I won't spoil it, but in general terms, you work towards something. I don't even remember what it was, honestly. Yeah. The whole game, everything you do is for a reason. And at the very end, it's all taken away from you.
Well, I mean, that's kind of like you're basically spoiling it.
No, because no one's going to remember that. They'll want to play it, and they won't remember that.
I wouldn't say that. I would just say that, like, it's you're tasked. You have to make a choice in the game, and the
choice is devastating.
Yeah, it devastates you. It devastated me. I totally agree. And the game ends on a cliffhanger. That's the big problem. I think there was DLC.
They released DLC
that
was the real ending, and that's one of the first times that people got.
I never played that then.
Yeah, no, they released. This is when people started getting pissed off at Ubisoft and other companies for releasing DLC that should have been in the game. Yeah. Because they released DLC that tied up the story in a way better ending, and people were super pissed because they were like, "Why didn't you just put that in the game in the first place? You can't charge us for." I didn't realize it actually
tied up the ending. I thought they were setting up a whole new game.
I don't think so.
I to this day am really bummed out that we didn't get a sequel to that.
I would rather they continue that version of the franchise than the old one, even though the old one was really cool.
I mean, at least with Toy Story 2, we're getting a sequel in Kingdom Hearts 3. Yeah. The real Toy Story sequel.
But yeah, that's mine. I don't think many people played that game. Probably a couple million. Like, it wasn't a flop by any means, but it wasn't the large scale Ubisoft game that you've come to expect. So
that's a franchise that people would freak out if they brought that back. Yeah. Prince of Persia is huge in the game.
That would be a good one more thing at a press conference.
It's gonna be. Yeah. Let's call it for next year.
Yeah, and they just show his face.
Okay, so my next one is a game that actually did get a sequel, but I think it still hasn't gotten its due.
Okay. Mr. Mosquito?
From a little bit further back than the PS3, Xbox 360. I talk about Mr. Mosquito so much in this show, I didn't want to bring that up in this game. This one, because actually that game's not underrated. It's fucking amazing. Everyone knows it. It got a sequel.
Everyone bought it. Sold 75 million copies in Japan.
So do they even have that many people in Japan?
Probably, because Tokyo is like 12 or 15 million.
Okay.
Alone.
It's Beautiful Joe. 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Beautiful Joe.
Oh, so you're just putting 2 games in one slot, huh? Yeah.
Well, cheating. Yeah, I'm just kind of talking about the franchise, I guess. Yeah.
Interesting.
So
interesting.
The Beautiful Joe was a game done by Capcom, and it was done by Clover Studios. Yeah. Which was really awesome. They did Okami after they did Beautiful Joe. And this studio was on a roll. They had this really amazing art team that just made games look fucking awesome. Yeah. Like, this is a game that I think also, if you did an HD release of it now, just with a higher resolution, it would hold up really well visually.
Yeah. That was a beautiful game.
It was a cel-shaded 2D brawler where you're playing like this comic book superhero dude. You're just like a fat dude who gets absorbed somehow into this comic book world. Yeah. And you get these really awesome powers, fast forward powers, rewind powers. Slowing down powers, and it was over the top action, awesome dialogue, awesome music, awesome combat, and had like a really great arcadey feel to it. And I think that they were just phenomenal games. And Clover Studios shut down after Okami. Since that, we never got Beautiful Joe after that. And what's weird about that is we've gotten Okami released on like almost every platform since then, and Okami HD is coming on PlayStation 4 this December.
Is it really?
Yeah.
That's interesting, because I never beat that.
Yeah, and I actually kind of want to go back and play that too.
Yeah, it's long. It's a really long game.
Yeah, I think it's the best Zelda game ever outside of Zelda, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. It's on the same level as some Zelda games.
Yeah, I agree. So for me, it would Beautiful Joe, I think, is one of those that,
that's
like,
a good one.
I think really underrated, and
Yeah.
it's kind of getting lost
and
in time.
Part of the reason it got lost is because it was originally released on GameCube.
Yeah, exactly.
The original
So it was on a
only
small
on
market.
GameCube. And then 2 came out on PS2.
Yeah, was it actually a console exclusive for the lifetime, or did they bring it out on PS2 eventually?
I thought they didn't bring it out on PS2 at all until the sequel, but I don't know. Maybe they did.
I can't remember.
All right. So my next one, I think everyone has a game like this. A game that stretches a system too far.
Oh,
like
shit,
beyond
too
its limits.
far?
It's trying to do something that the system wasn't made for.
Okay.
But you love it for that
Yeah.
because you don't have the real version of what you're looking for. So this game is X versus Sever on Game Boy Advance.
Oh my god, are you kidding me?
Do you remember this?
Yes, I remember this. You owned this game,
I
right?
did.
And I just borrowed it. Dude,
Yeah.
this game was fucking nuts.
It's a first-person shooter on Game Boy Advance. Akin to Doom, but with a little bit more. It's more 3D than Doom. And it was using Mode 7
I
graphics.
can't tell if it was better looking than Doom or worse looking than Doom.
It was...
I think it was probably
better.
worse
It was
looking
higher
than Doom.
resolution, I think.
No way.
Yep.
Oh, not on a Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
We got to look up gameplay videos of this game.
Higher texture resolution.
Okay, we got to look up gameplay videos of this
should.
after the show because, and if you haven't seen it, go right now, YouTube, X versus Sever, Game Boy Advance.
ECKS versus Sever.
It was a movie.
Yeah, it was this shitty
game.
like spy movie, and then there was this tie-in game, and the game was fun.
Yeah,
Like,
dude. Especially
there were some good encounters
for Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
Like that
And it
game
was hard,
and
too.
It was hard, and it kind of blew your mind technically what they were doing
Yeah.
on a Game Boy Advance.
That was the best part.
I don't even know if they should have been doing that.
Because at that point, I didn't have a console, and this was something the Game Boy Advance could never do. So
Yeah.
that whole genre was cut out from my life.
Yeah.
So I got this, and the second I played it, I was just enthralled. It was like, oh my God, 3D?
Dude.
I'm in 3 dimensions right now?
Yeah.
Oh, it was so awesome.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people probably had this experience with like Star Fox or a lot of the earlier 3D games
but
that
this was
used Mode
yours.
7.
This was your 3D experience.
Yeah. So I loved that game and played the shit out of it.
Yeah, that was cool. I borrowed it from you, and I played the whole thing, and I think probably 100%ed it as well. Because that's all you did back then.
Yeah.
You know? It's like if you had a game, you 100%ed that
Yep.
fucking thing.
There was no reason to, but you did it.
Okay, I'm thinking for time reasons, maybe we just both do one more. What do you
Well, yeah,
think?
because we were originally going to do 3 each.
Okay,
right?
cool. Yeah. So my next one, my last one, this is a game that also got a sequel.
Okay. Give me a hint. I want to guess.
Mr. Mosquito. No, I'm just kidding. I'll give you a hint. It was on PlayStation 2. It
Okay.
was an amazing game. All of us loved it. We definitely spent a lot of long play sessions in this game.
Time Splitters.
Now Time Splitters.
Damn.
There's a gate.
There's a gate.
There's a Baldur.
Oh, okay.
Baldur's
Dark
Gate
Alliance.
Dark Alliance. This game was amazing. This I actually watched YouTube videos of this not too long ago because I was like wondering whatever happened to Dark Alliance.
It
Why did we
looks
not
great.
get another one?
Do you remember the water in that game?
Dude, I watched YouTube videos. It still looks good.
Yeah.
And it actually sounds good. The game has
Really?
amazing sound design. Like the combat all feels super satisfying. There's a reason why
I
we
remember
love this
that.
game.
Yeah.
It was a really polished game.
Everything did feel really heavy. Like, even
yeah,
if you
when
were hitting
hit
a
things,
box,
yeah,
you fucking
it like
shattered
blew
that
up.
box.
Yeah, you fucking wrecked that box.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the game, if you don't know what it was a third person, like top downish perspective, Diablo hack and slash.
Basically
pretty much.
Diablo, yeah.
And it was on PlayStation 2, and I think it was on GameCube. Maybe not. Maybe it was only PlayStation 2.
It was PlayStation 2, and then the next one. No, I think they were all on PlayStation 2.
Okay, so but there were like 3 or 4 classes you could play as, and then there was like a secret unlockable. There was like Drizzt, who was like
Yeah.
a Dungeons and Dragons like hero
Well,
or
the whole
something.
thing
which
is
is
based
weird.
on D&D.
Yeah.
Magic
So-
missiles all over the place.
Exactly. And so yeah, it's based on D&D, and it's a hack and slash, but the character classes were really awesome, and they had tons of abilities, and there was tons of gear and loot to get, and the game was hard. Like it was difficult to get through. Like you had to
Yeah.
play really well and like level up and do a fair amount of grinding to get through, and you had a real cool team composition. Like you could play co-op. That was the best part. You could
Yeah.
play with 2 people.
Yeah, that was
so
amazing.
the whole game.
And you start out in the pub. Like
Yep,
your first mission
exactly.
is killing rats.
Yep,
It's such classic
typical
RPG.
Yeah, it's classic RPG, but it feels so good.
Yeah.
And then you can like take off all your clothes on your characters, so you could run around like half naked.
Oh
Don't
yeah,
you
we
remember
did that a lot. Yep.
And so this game got a sequel, Dark Alliance 2. Each game ends in this crazy cliffhanger that like makes you want the next game. And apparently Dark Alliance 3 was in the works, but something happened. I don't know if a publisher got shut down. Something got shut down.
Who made that?
I can't remember off the top of my head. I want to say there was like a mountain in their like symbol, but maybe I'm making that up. I don't know. The game got canceled.
Yeah.
And I think that's tragic because if to this day on consoles, we don't get very good hack and slashes like that. We have Diablo on console now, but that's it.
What was that one you played on PS3 that was somewhat janky? Divinity? No, not Divinity.
Yeah, it was Divinity.
Was that hack and slash though?
Yeah,
there was one that
it was. It just wasn't very good.
Yeah,
It was called Divinity, but it like that's kind of mixing us up with like the Divinity Original Sin franchise.
Yeah, because that's completely different,
It's
right?
different,
Not
yeah.
related at all.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was Divinity.
it was Divinity
2.
3, I think.
3?
Yeah, it was Divinity 3.
It was a sequel, and it was almost there.
It was almost there, but it wasn't quite.
But just
it
was
didn't hook
soulless.
us.
It
yeah.
didn't have the soul.
And Baldur's Gate has tons of soul, and those games. I was doing a lot of looking into it. Like there are people out there that still like want those games back, and yeah. I'm telling you right now, they need to. Sony, I know you're listening. Put those games on PlayStation 2 Classics. They're on PlayStation 2. If you put that PS2 Classic on my PS4, I will buy that day one. I will buy the first one and the second one because those are such fun co-op hack and slash games.
And
I
the second
totally
one
want to play through them again.
Was so hard to get a hold of. That was one of those rare games that shot back up to $60.
Yeah.
After a year of coming out.
Yeah, because no one had it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really want that. I would be happy with even just the first one, but I want to play through those games again. I was watching the YouTube videos and I was like, ooh, this is the right kind of nostalgia. This is nostalgia that's nostalgia, but it's also a good game underneath it. That would be so much fun to just like get some beers and just fucking grind through that game.
That would be great. So some of mine were actually in that vein. So I was thinking Lord of the Rings Return of the King on GameCube, which is another great hack and slash multiplayer game.
That's another franchise that's kind of dormant as far as
Shadow of Mordor.
We have Shadow of Mordor, but that's it.
So they've just gone in a different direction.
There was a time back then we were getting Lord of the Rings games on every platform,
but they started getting
different
bad.
types of games.
They started getting bad after Return of the King. After they got through all the movies, they started like rehashing, and they didn't have a movie to tie it to. And they put out a bunch of really bad games.
I don't think they really did, because if you think about it,
I think they
what
did.
we got were those really cool Game Boy Advance Lord of the Rings games that were like Diablo.
Those were great.
We got those.
That was actually potentially on my list too.
We got we got the PlayStation 2 and GameCube hack and slash games that we liked, like what you're talking about, Return of the King, Two Towers. We got Lord of the Rings, the RTS ones.
Battle from Middle-earth.
Battle from Middle-earth.
Yeah.
Those are apparently considered some of the best strategy games ever made. And they're actually, because of the franchise going from EA to Warner Brothers, you can't buy them anymore.
Oh, really?
Those games, you cannot buy them.
Wow.
They're not sold anywhere on any digital store and any physical format. So if you have the discs, they're incredibly valuable.
Oh, you know what? You know what happened? So for some reason, I was filling in the past with I thought they released a bunch of duds after that. But you know what happened? They made Lord of the Rings Online.
Yeah. They stopped.
And then they made it free to play, and they've been developing that forever.
At that same time, they also made that turn-based Lord of the Rings game. I forget what it's called, but it's got war in it or something.
Was it on PSP?
It was on PS2.
PS2.
And it was a turn-based Lord of the Rings game, and it was really cool. It didn't get amazing reviews, but it got in the 7s, and I played through the whole game.
I played a little bit of that.
It was awesome. So you played through the whole game as heroes fighting the orcs and bad guys, and then when you beat the game, it unlocked a whole new campaign where you were the orcs and you built a team of orcs to fight all of the good guys.
That's cool.
It was awesome.
Yeah, man,
that was so.
It was a good time.
Those the Lord of the Rings games were really good, and we don't get them anymore, except for Shadow of Mordor, which is good.
Yeah.
But
I think
it's
they're just
only
going in
one
a different
game where it's
direction.
we used to get lots of different types of Lord of the Rings games.
It's not the media zeitgeist that it used to be.
I guess that's it, right?
It's not in mainstream news at all. So
and then you had the Hobbit movies, which were trash.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, they weren't trash. They just weren't They were not
Okay,
up
right.
To the level of Lord
They
of the
weren't
Rings.
trash. They were trash on fucking fire.
Fire trash. So originally I was going to say I'm not choosing that one. But we've talked quite a bit about it. So I'll pepper in some of the other options.
Okay.
Untold Legends, another hack and slash that
Yes.
came out on PSP. That was bad.
Bad, but I loved it.
Not horrible, but it was bad. It was one of those launch games where you're playing it just because you have nothing else to play. And we played it together. It was multiplayer, and playing multiplayer kind of smooths over a lot of the
makes everything
problems,
better.
especially in hack and slash games. I feel like
yeah.
you can have a steaming pile of shit, and if it's multiplayer, you have a good time.
Yeah, exactly.
And then my other one, which was the throwback way back, was Tamagotchi.
Oh,
and that was just kind of like the forgotten gem back in the day.
I mean, it's a game, but not a game.
Well, but I had the physical. My sister had
you
the
had the Game
physical
Boy.
Tamagotchi, and then I had the Game Boy version of it.
Wait a second.
I forget if it was Game Boy Color or regular Game Boy.
I have Tamagotchi on Game Boy, and I wonder
Did
if
you
I have
take it?
your
You
Game Boy
probably took it.
Tamagotchi.
You probably took it.
Yeah, I have it in my stack of Game Boy games over there.
Wow. I sold all my Game Boy games because I kept looking at my stack of them and just never playing them.
Yeah.
And I had them sitting around for like 10 years. And at some point, I even bought a Game Boy Advance SP with a backlight
Just to
again,
play
which was
them,
hard
yeah.
to find because I was like getting nostalgic. And then I played I played all the way through Pokemon Red with only Squirtle without evolving him or anything.
What the fuck?
Yeah, which is
When did you do this?
breaks the
At
game.
what point in your time?
Absolutely breaks the game. This was like 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh my god, we would never have the time to do that now.
No, it's easy. I'm telling you.
Really?
Yeah. If you play through with one Pokemon, the game is completely broken.
but you didn't
because
evolve
you get
him.
all of the experience on that Pokemon.
Yeah.
So that dude is so over leveled. You're like running into the level cap before you get to gyms where he stops listening to you and shit.
Yeah.
So you just go in and I could like tackle Onyx to death by the
my
time I got to
God.
Brock because he's so fucking over leveled.
That's amazing. All right. Well, the only other one I think I had on my list was Rogue Galaxy, which
level
was a
5
level
games.
5 RPG that came out at the end of PS2's life cycle.
Yeah.
And that game is on PlayStation
You
2
bought it.
Classics, and I bought it again and I started playing it. It's still awesome.
Yeah.
It's still really,
It's
really
just
cool.
really long. It's
Yeah,
it's hard to go back to a long involved game like that.
Yeah.
Especially when there are so many long involved games coming out
That are
right now.
and exactly, and have like they're just higher production value.
And it's
now.
a new experience, so the value for time is just a better
And
equation.
I never finished Rogue Galaxy. I always wanted to, but I bought it to support level 5 because I fucking love them, and I would definitely want to see another one of those games
Yeah.
if they could
Yeah.
do it.
Well,
So-
they're putting out Ni no Kuni too, right?
Ooh, yes, they are.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. I cannot wait for that.
That's gonna be great.
All right. Mail train. All right. We only have one letter this week from very, very
new
cool new listener.
So cool.
Sean, do you want to read out his message for us?
Hey guys! I just found out about you a couple weeks ago via r/Nintendo Switch on
What's
Reddit.
up, Nintendo Switch community?
And I'm just writing to say that you just got yourselves a fan. You really cracked me up, and even though I keep up with all the Nintendo news and Reddit and a couple other sites, I really enjoy hearing your opinion on the most recent
We do
news.
talk about
Thanks a lot.
Nintendo
Thank you.
way too fucking
Because,
much.
dude, the Switch,
Switch
is the
news
console
is
I've
all over the
always
place.
wanted.
Yeah.
It's honestly like my dream console.
Yeah.
It just needs all the games now. Anyway, does this person have a name?
Yeah, he does.
Later Caper? Is
Pena.
that it?
We're
No.
gonna just call him Pena.
Okay, Pena. Yeah.
I think that's how you say that.
So Pena here had an idea for a crossover.
Yeah, we asked you
When we
guys to
called
write
out
in with
last week.
crossover ideas. Pena, all-star over here,
All-Star.
had a great idea and wrote into us.
He says, "What about Gremlins plus Rabbids?" Which
Initially,
makes so much sense.
Yeah, I'm like, why the fuck wouldn't I have thought about this? God,
Yeah.
I love Gremlins.
Yeah.
I watched Gremlins 1 and 2 probably every year.
Yeah. And he says, obviously, the gremlins are replaced by Rabbids and multiply with water and turn evil if you feed them after midnight. Which everyone knows those rules, you know? But he puts in quotation or parentheses here. I hate rabbits. Rabbits? Wait, I thought he said he hates rabbids, but he said he hates rabbits, like 99% of the population. I don't know if that many people hate rabbits.
No, I'm like, I have no problem with
They're
rabbits.
they're just cute furry little
I think he
animals.
means rabbits. Now, okay, we'll finish his message before I jump in.
Do we have to finish the message?
Yeah.
it's like it's
the best part of the message.
all right. You read this.
All right.
You do the
Also,
honors.
Brad, I'm from Mexico City, so I can help with the stereotypes if you ever do that game. I mean, burritos are not from Mexico. Get your fast food right, Sean.
Yeah.
Oh, burned live on air.
Hey, I never
You
said they were
fucking
from
suck.
Mexico. I just said
You did.
burrito cannon.
Dumbass. You know
because I was
nothing.
hungry.
God, you're so racist.
What happened?
Anyway, keep up with the great work. Cheers. Thanks, Pena. Really
a lot,
appreciate
Pena.
it. That was a really sweet message. We got that earlier this week when we were like walking over to the mall, and it just warmed my heart.
Oh my god.
So I wanted to say, I like your idea. I don't like removing the gremlins and changing them with rabbits. This is a fucking crossover.
Yeah.
You're combining the gremlins and the rabbits.
I
That's
think
what's going
so.
on. You put
I
the
think
gremlins
so.
and the rabbits together. That's
Yeah.
what happens.
Like maybe they're rabbits.
it's gremlins versus
Until
rabbits
they go
as
crazy.
far as like how crazy they go.
Yeah. I can
Like
see
it's
that.
like they're just each
because
upping the ante.
the rabbits I feel are inherently good and gremlins are
inherently evil. Yeah.
So it's you got the nice balance there.
Exactly. So anyways,
Duality.
loved it. Thanks for writing in, dude.
Thanks, man.
I think that's going to wrap up the show for us this week.
I believe so.
This was pretty fun, Sean.
Wraps up the show, wraps up the week.
Just a little bit of ending of the show housekeeping. In case you didn't know, we are available to listen to on a variety of platforms.
Oh, yeah, platform.
We are on iTunes. We're on SoundCloud. We're on, I keep saying Stitcher.
We are, right?
We're on, Google
Play.
Android Play.
What?
Whatever the hell that platform
Play.
is. Google Play. We're on YouTube. And if you could go on to any one of those, subscribe, that would really, really help. If you like the show, please spread the word, share with any of your fellow gaming friends.
And
we wanna
rate
help,
us,
we
review
wanna,
us. Let us know what you think, because we're looking for feedback.
We're looking for
always.
feedback.
And anything you have to say, we will take to heart. So.
Yeah, and we want to build a cool gaming community together. And so spread the word. And if you have any feedback or you have questions and you want to write in and get your question on the air like Pena did, write into gamestuffpodcast@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter at GameStuffPod. Sean's at Sean_Crick. I'm at Big B Snyder. Write into us if you don't want to email because email's fucking dumb and so 1999, you want to tweet at us like
Y2K is coming up.
just do that. Tweet at us. We have a Facebook page. I always forget to mention that. We have a
I didn't
Facebook
even know.
page. I made it. Game Stuff Podcast on Facebook. I actually have no idea how you find it, so
Yeah,
just
I don't even-
Google it or whatever.
What's Facebook?
But you can follow us on there. I try to post updates about when the new shows go live and YouTube updates as well on there. So anyways, hope you guys are playing some cool fucking games.
Oh, yeah. Get ready for the weekend.
Having a great time.
Oh, wait. We're posting this on... Get ready for the next weekend.
Yeah, this
Shit.
show gets posted on Monday, but let's start getting amped for next weekend
Yeah.
already.
The weekends
All right.
keep coming, and they
Yeah.
don't stop coming.
Good. Never stop weekends. See you next time, guys.
See ya.
Recording in the morning, recording in the evening.
When recording's on a bagel, you can record anytime.